Hi, I'm Sandy Schreck, and today we're here for the How-To Series Personal Flowers from Limbush Roses. And what we're going to start off with is some of the traditional things that we use. What I'm looking at today is actually one of the Slap It wristlets, and this is the one in black, onyx. You can see a great color, has a little bit of luminous on it. And then I'm going to start with a luxe ribbon and just come in, bring that right underneath there, and then I have a second ribbon that I'm gonna do a couple bows or couple loops on, just coming back and forth. 2 loops on either side. I don't want it to be a big statement within it. Just gonna lay it on and tie it right in. So you could just tie that with a wire and then tie it in as well. But I'm just gonna come in the second square knot. I wanna make sure and I have the glitter side of this luxe ribbon from Berwick off right up. So you can see what a great look that starts off with. And then what we're gonna do is add in some U-glue. So I tend to glue on my foliage with U-glue, and then my flowers are glued in with the floral adhesive tube glue. So I'm gonna put a little piece of U-glue on each side here. And then the foliage, my foliage preference is actually this Israeli ruscus. So I'm gonna cut off 4 leaves there. I'm gonna take the tips of the leaves. Sorry, that one's not so good. I am going to take the tops of the leaves and match those up, and then cut off the bottom. That way I end up with 4 leaves that are similarly sized. And then what we're gonna do is just come in and press those right into that U-glue, so I can easily get a collared finish. Very efficient. The next thing we're gonna do is come in and prep the rest of our flowers. So I'm gonna do a couple button mums that are gonna come in here. I'm also gonna do some white dendrobium orchids. White and black is very much of a statement this year, and it's gonna go with any colored dress, just using a little bit of green underneath to give it some depth. And so I'm just bringing all those flowers and preparing them all. And then we are also adding in a leucadendron, and this is a discolor leucadendron that we carry as a smaller color. And so we're gonna put some of those in our focal. So now, before I'm gluing, my little tip of the day here is to just put on some inexpensive lotion on, and then that way, when you do get glue on your hands, you're able to rub it off really easily. So then we're gonna come in with our floral adhesive, and so you can see I've prepped all of my flowers, almost all my flowers. I gotta get these little leucadendrons ready here. So the leucadendrons, I'm using the head, but I'm also going to be able to add in some of that foliage. And so I'm just putting those in a couple groups of 2. We're gonna add in on the end there. So I got everything ready here, and then we're gonna come in and add the glue. So I add a pretty substantial amount of glue. If you're not having success, essentially it's about the size of the end of my pinky on the dendrobiums. You come at the contact point here where this is gonna come into the corsage. And I get all those going because then they have a little bit of opportunity for that glue to set while I'm placing the flowers. So I did them kind of in order of how they're gonna go in. So coming back to these, just gonna come in right there. And what these are gonna do is just give a little bit more depth to this corsage. And now I'm gonna come in with some of the orchids. You can see how I'm splitting the ribbon to get some of that ribbon to come up into the corsage. And just coming in there. And then we're gonna add our focal with these little leucadendrons here right in the middle. What I do like to do is, and that's in any arrangement, is add some of those different exotic flowers that people aren't so used to seeing. Leucadendrons in arrangements. I'm adding in pincushion and protea and leucadendrons. But what it does is just creates a conversation piece. And then like these are coming out of California, but it's just more of a specialty import. And so you want to tell your customers about that, and then it's not something you're going to find at every store. So it gives them something to talk about once somebody comes in, starts looking at their corsage, how it's really stunning. So you can see I have a little bit of glue and some of the dendrobiums are kind of falling out. So my next trick that I do is I actually use parts of the green trick dianthus as a support system and also to hide any of my glue down on the side, but it'll pick up my dendrobiums, get them facing up a little bit, add another textural influence in here, and it just can hide any of those little glue pieces that you might be able to see. And then they also support those orchids. Works really well for spray roses as well. So that's kind of basic. Now we're just gonna take it up to the next level a little bit, and we have these great sheets of iridescent gems, and so they just peel off and stick on. So I'm just gonna be able to come in. They will adhere to the flowers as well as the ribbon. So iridescence right now in containers, oh geez, and everything is really, really popular, but it just adds that extra sheen that you can add in and it'll catch the light. But it's a great inexpensive way. So you're able to get that whole sheet of those for a really good value price and be able to simply add those onto our dendrobiums. They go on to foliage. And then the other one, I am just going to customize my wristlet here, just coming down the middle. And I did call it a wristlet, but my intention actually is to kind of show some of these different pieces. This will actually work as a leg wrap as well. So many of the dresses this year are off the shoulder. They have that high-low waistline on. So these actually wrap on ankles really well. And so before it leaves your store, you want to spray it with some of the finishing touch spray and package it up and send it out to your customers. So hopefully this will be a great success item that you can sell to your prom customers this year.